Welcome everyone, I am coming at you with a quick update for Kill the Justice League. We have gotten our first really official communication from the devs since the launch of the game. And as we know from previous games, this can be like the most important communication for establishing, it sounds a bit dramatic, but establishing the relationship between the players and the devs. I'm not gonna. I might mention Back for Blood a few times. This isn't going to be a comparison to Back for Blood. I will link my video to my comments on the first patch notes we got from Back for Blood, just in case you want to see how badly that went and how much it messed up their whole launch of the game. So there's a way it can go bad and the way it can kind of set things going forward. So anyway, what do we actually find out? We got a note from the devs about the first patch coming up, and they're telling us about the burn mechanic and how there is an unintended bug happening. Some of you may already know about this. They did post it a couple days ago. It says, "Hello, people of Metropolis. In the midst of exploring the Elseworlds and dodging Brainiac skull ships, tentacle lasers, we wanted to give you all some more context and details around some of the content in our upcoming patch. After launch, we noticed some of our more dedicated players started reaching mastery levels beyond our wildest expectations. When we looked into this, we noticed that there seemed to be something amiss with the burn status effect." And then it goes on to essentially say that burn is scaling incorrectly. It's an unintended bug, and the way that it's scaling in mastery levels, every mastery level essentially has the same difficulty if you're running a burn build. They say this left us with somewhat of a conundrum. Our most dedicated players had now reached a mastery level far beyond what the game was balanced for at launch due to this bug. We weren't getting the challenge or variety we wanted our endgame to provide. We had to ask ourselves, what can we do to fix this, and more importantly, should we fix it at all? And this is in some ways kind of the nightmare of a game developer, when you have players that are working on a build that have gotten on the leaderboard, that have dedicated themselves to this, and now you have to come in and find out, do you have to nerf it? Do you have to give people this bad news, especially right at the beginning of your game? I think they're handling it okay, though. They talk about the 3 pillars of their game: traversal, combat, build construction, and they talk about how they want to be surprised with powerful builds, which they've expressed that feeling before when they've said that a game, once they release a game, it belongs to the players as much as it does to the developers, and they want to see how they can be surprised with what the players are going to come up with in their game. And again, just to throw it back to my first update video for Back for Blood real quick, one of the problems they had was they didn't expect melee to be so important or so powerful, or people to have melee builds, so they nerfed melee builds into the ground for really no reason, because they weren't overpowered or anything. They just didn't expect it. So seeing the attitude that they're fine with things not being expected, it just becomes a problem when it really, screws up their whole idea of difficulty, essentially. So in the next patch, they're going to fix the way burn scales to do it properly. They're going to introduce a new leaderboard. There's going to be the current leaderboard that will always be there. There's going to be a new leaderboard with the correct burn scaling, which I guess is an okay compromise. I mean, at a certain point, the old leaderboard, no one's going to care about it anymore, but it's better than just getting rid of the leaderboard. But then they also go on to give us some good news, which is important for this. You should always, especially for your first correspondence, always have some good news with your bad news. And they've heard that people are saying enemy health is too big, or is growing too much at the higher mastery levels. So they are lessening the amount that scales up as you go up mastery. They're making adjustments to Heatwave's molten skin and the turtle shell. Instead of offering full immunity, it's only going to give you 90% immunity. So there's a bit of a give and take. That's the gist of it. That's what's going to happen. Everyone's progress is going to be the same. You keep your mastery levels, you keep your gear, all of that. They say that they're going to be giving us a weekly dev update, which is cool. They say some nice things. Behalf of the entire Rocksteady crew, say a huge heartfelt thank you. They're saying all the right things. It's good to see. Hopefully we continue on this. Hopefully people appreciate the updates they give. If any of you were around for like the OG Fortnite days, they did regular patch notes. People would get upset about the patch notes because they didn't agree with them. So then they started adding developer notes to the patch notes to explain why they were doing what they were doing. And that just gave people more ammunition to argue with the devs. And so then they just said, screw it, we're not giving any patch notes anymore. And ever since, Fortnite has just never had patch notes. Hopefully that was just a case for Fortnite. And I think a lot of games, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully it's received well, the developer notes. Now, the other thing that they released in addition to this update is the known issues. Known issues is now a, what do you call it? A category, a chat, a thing in their Discord. A channel, that's what it's called. This is another great thing. Again, just because it's such a good example of how to do it wrong, and also because I followed Back 4 Blood so closely. One of the things that Back 4 Blood messed up from the start is so many things were bugs that we didn't know were bugs, and so then when they got fixed, it just kind of like screwed everyone over because out of nowhere everyone had to change up what they were doing. So knowing ahead of time already what the current bugs are is really good. They said they've already implemented server improvements, which should help with some stability issues. I've seen some people having server issues, complaining about that on Reddit. They have a bunch of general issues here. Receiving the error, not an Argus database. Gear slots get locked. Firearm becomes locked. Twitch drops has not been added to account. Losing game progress, a bunch of stuff. They give you workarounds or possible solutions until they get solved. The issues they're investigating. Legendary Notorious gear losing augments. Loading into a game session sent you back into the log screen. Infinite loading. A bunch of general stability things, which it seems like it's a lot of things that are mostly things that wouldn't even come up till you start releasing the game at scale. It is an issue in the video game industry these days that there just isn't enough testing and games are released before they're finished. I sat on stream a couple days ago and watched the credits for this game. They took about an hour and there were a lot of testers, so it at least makes sense that most of the bugs we're seeing don't seem to be like bugs that would come up in internal testing. At least that's what it seems to me. I'm not a programmer, what do I know? Resolved issues awaiting release, players blocked from increasing their finite crisis rank. Twitch drops being not granted to players. I have that issue at the moment. Ivy sometimes invisible. Some things with friends. Shield harvesting contracts not being completed. Voice chat not working. Game crashing. So definitely check out the Discord if you want to really take a look at those known issues. But yeah, that's the update we've gotten so far. I probably won't go as in-depth with this and comment as much as we get more updates. I do want to keep you guys updated and informed. But like I said, this is the first communication we've gotten from them, which is especially important. So I did want to call that out and, give notice that so far they seem to be doing things pretty much correctly, at least in terms of communication. We'll see what happens when that first patch comes out, and hopefully it's everything we expect to see. Because this is a cross-play game, it usually takes extra time for patches to come out. Usually it's about once a month is the most you can expect patches to come out for cross-play games. I don't have gameplay to show of a burn build. I haven't personally really tried a burn build yet. I'm using electricity on my boomerang character right now, and a craze build on King Shark. So that doesn't affect me so much. I think I'm just putting some gameplay of like some side missions with this, so you have something to watch. But yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I've said, if you have any thoughts, and stay tuned. We'll keep up to date and keep enjoying this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.